And we did pick 4 players, Michael. I'm not going to let you get away with that one.
Well, I'm guessing you came out on top in that one.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's probably why I mentioned it. You got 2 out of 4, and I got 3 out of 4, just because Albin sneaked through at the end.
So, yeah, because you had Melling, Kaci, and Ouschan, and I had Melling and Kaci, who you surprisingly left out of your 4.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of forgot. I think it's because he was late to the table or something.
Albin Ouschan was a bit late getting to the semi-finals, but what matters is he's got there. However, it hasn't started quite the way he would have hoped for that break.
Yeah, I think it's important for Albin, now he's made it to the semis, is to try and play as free as you like, because in some ways he sneaked in right at the last minute. Of course, he played an unbelievable finish. He was 3-0 down in that match. So it's almost like a free go at the trophy, if that stacks up.
Well, if he can get himself into that mindset, then absolutely fine. It's a bit like a football team that scrapes into the playoffs with a good run at the end of the season and then ends up winning promotion.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't be the case. He wants to win, of course, and he'll keep fighting hard. But one thing he has done is he's shown he can knock the balls in under the severe amount of pressure.
Well, that's just a brilliant recovery there. Was hooked on the 2, but he's played the jump shot, both in terms of the pot and position, to absolute perfection. Yeah,
this is a great jump shot. It's the 9 ball and gets a favourable roll to come round and land on the 3. Absolutely perfect. So it continues. Over on table 2, Chris Melling, who qualified on day 1, so that was a week ago. He's playing David Kaci, and they've not started yet, so we will keep you updated as always.
This one looks to be over then. A break and run in the opening rack. And so it is that Albin Ouschan, the 2016 world champion, is off to a good start. And I was saying there, Carl, he has to forget about all the drama, bring himself back down again, get back on an even keel. Indications there, very positive in that regard.
Yeah, and I think it would be very easy to kind of like stay in the moment of the previous match, and often you can go 2-0 down and you start thinking, hold on a minute, I've got to get my head on in gear here. So I think that break and run, that gives him time to sit in the chair, process what's just happened, and I think he'll be good to go.
Here's what's happening next door.
Yeah, David Kaci has pushed out to that position, so that wasn't a safety shot. David had the first break, and he was on the 1 ball before a random ball come round and does what it often does and sits in front of it. So he's playing the jump shot. Back over to table 1. Eklent Kaci, who had a ropey start. He woke up late. Now it is late. He's a night owl, so this should suit him perfect. He's breaking in rack 2.
His breaking was a real forte in the round robin section, which he finished top of. He'll know as well as anyone, though, that being top doesn't really mean anything in terms of your chances after that, because he actually did finish first in the table in the first group this time last week. And what he says is he thought that that meant he had won the group, that he wasn't aware there were semi-finals and final. Now, some people have said that he did actually know about it, but fact is, having finished first, he didn't go on to advance from there, and only one of the 7 groups leading up to this ended up being won by the player who finished first in the table.
Well, if he didn't know, I think he definitely needs to sort that tattoo out on his neck, because I'm sure he can read. Clearly states in the players' contracts what the format is, so... Anyway, he has a shot on this 2 ball. He's playing it into the right centre, and he makes it. What's position like? Position's good. Sneak round the back of the 8. And this red 3 passes the 7. David Alcade has potted the one ball, come round 2 rails and sat right behind another ball, so he's pulling his jump cue out for the second time in 3 shots.
Jason Shaw, Fedor Gorst and Joshua Filler were all originally due to play in this tournament, but for various reasons they ended up missing out. So from the 5 players who won the Mosconi Cup back for Europe in Coventry last December, these were the only 2 to actually take up their places here, and they played a match together as doubles partners in the Mosconi. They beat Billy Thorpe and Shane Van Boning by 5 racks to 4.
Yeah, they're so used to the utmost of pressures. Anyone who's played in the Mosconi Cup, they know what that feels like, and you know, these race to 5s, they know how the match can swing back and forth.
Partners in December, but opponents now. Kaci has seen Ouschan's break and run and said, have some of that back. So early stages of this winners group semi-final, Kaci won, Ouschan won. I guess what Kaci's done today, Carl, has underlined what we've been saying all week. It's not really about how you start, is it? We've seen it so often that players have struggled early on in the group, as he really did in his opening match, but come good at the end of the day, which is the time when you really want to be playing well.
Yeah, and I mean, the last match that we've just seen on table 1, the Niels and Albin match, that just shows you what pool's all about. You know, it's all about chances and opportunity. You never know what's going to happen. You've just got to stick in there and be positive, because some days you're going to get that opportunity to come back and win a match, and other days you don't. That's just the nature of pool. And speaking about pool, it won't be long before the next event is on your TV screens. It will be the World Cup of Pool. It's the 9th to the 14th of May, and that is, well, that'll be the second event on the Matchroom Pool Series roster. And that, well, that's one of my favourite tournaments, so I cannot wait for that, and I'm sure you guys at home can't wait for that also. Albin Ouschan, he gets the 3rd rack underway. Seems to be breaking very well tonight, Albin. I think that pizza he's had has done him the world of good. But he's no shot on the 3, so unless he's in full exhibition mode, he'll be playing safe. David Alcade is at the table on table 2, and he's got a look at the 7 ball, so it's an opportunity to win that first rack, and he pots the 7 and he's on the 8, so he's in good shape there to take the first rack. That's over on table 2. He's playing, of course, Chris the Shot Maker Mellin.
Call.
Yeah, Michael, you know, we're talking about the Mosconi Cup, and you know, this is, you know, it's a Matchroom event. It's the biggest tournament we've had to date this year, and obviously whoever goes on to win this tournament from the 4 players left, well, their name will be getting spoke about. I'm sure Mr. Laley somewhere is tuning in, and he'll be paying attention.
Yeah, and he won't mind seeing 4 Europeans making up the semi-final lineup, and the 2 Americans in the field, both departed by now. Billy Thorpe provided us with a lot of entertainment, both on the table and in the commentary box in the course of the week. We understand Billy's on his way to a tournament in Alabama, and he left at 5 o'clock this morning to try to get there.
Alabama?
Alabama. So we wish him all the best in that. I think he's playing in a couple of different divisions.
Yeah, Billy Thorpe, he's a funny guy. I spoke to him quite a lot this week. we've always been pretty friendly, but not spent as much time together as we have this week. And he told Emily Fraser that he sort of loves me now.
Everyone loves you, Carl.
Well,
why should this come as news?
Well, he's American and I'm European and from Moscone, but he said he loves me. I love you too, Billy, if you're watching on the flight to Alabama.
Well, I was at that pre-tournament press conference the night before the Moscone Cup began, and there wasn't a lot of love flying either direction that night.
It was funny though, right? The Tiger. You like the Tiger?
Oh, well, listen, the Tiger was the real star of that week. Never mind Jason Shaw or Alex Laley or anyone else.
Oh, wonderful kick shot there. Played to perfection. Cue ball goes up and jams on the 8. There you see another look. That's exactly how he played it. Now I'm wondering if the 3 ball, that's what Kaci's doing here. He's looking, if he gives up ball in hand, can Albin put the cue ball behind the 3 and pocket it in the left centre? If he can't, well, he could play a DF. It's not easy to hit the 3 ball. Of course, if he can pop the 3, then I think he's got to give it a good old whack. There's Albin Ouschan. He'll have been delighted with that last finish. It was a tricky layout. The 2 ball he played, the opening shot, well, that was a beautiful pull shot to say the least. Chris Melling's going airborne on table number 2.
Not all the way to Alabama, though.
So this is interesting. He plays a DF, so he thinks Albin can't pot this ball in the side. Well, he obviously can't because, well, he wouldn't have done that. But he can play a good safe, but Kaci's just hoping that it's going to be an easier hit than the previous one. So that's why he's done that. And there we go. So there you see, he can go off the side rail now, and this is a lot easier to hit the 3 than his previous shot. If he hits it full, he could fluke it in one of the middles. And if he hits it top side, so on top of the 3, he might be able to leave some distance. So watch outside pockets.
Foul shot.
Well, he's missed it altogether.
Second one. Ball in.
So it's ball in hand for the Austrian.
Start it.
Yeah, and he needs to make it count because this is, after all, a breaking rack for him. And given the quality of breaking from both of them today, any lapses on your own break could be decisive. The nature of this format is that you can end up playing the same player over and over again. Albin Ouschan and Niels Feijen met 8 times in the course of the tournament. It's the 4th meeting of these 2 that we've had, and they've all been pretty close. Kaci came out on top in Group 1. Ouschan was the winner when they met in Group 2, both hill-hill. And then earlier today, Kaci won 5-3. No surprise at all between these 2 that it would be close every time.
Yeah, it doesn't come down to much, does it, over the course of, you know, these matches between the best pool players in the world. Over on table 2, David Alcaida's at the table and he's eyeing up a 5-9 combo, so we'll tell you if he makes that. He's leading that match 1-0. Well, he missed it, and he missed it by a long way, so that's got to be chalked down as a poor mistake.
So, it wasn't a 3rd straight break and run, but Albin Ouschan has still won his breaking rack. And he leads 2-1. You feel there's a long way to go in this semi-final. The story continues next.
What a shot by Albin Ouschan. One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
Sporting events should not be held until there are no new cases.
Well, that's right up there with the... No crowd, but who needs them? Just in terms of pure potting ability, he's just one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh my word. Incredible.
What a power-packed partnership it is. Start the engraving process.
High quality stuff to start this semi-final in the winners group of the Predator Championship League. And it's Albin Ouschan of Austria, former world champion, leading Albania's Eklent Kaci by 2-1 as Kaci breaks in the fourth.
Pretty decent break there from Kaci, a little bit unlucky. The cue ball did get kissed. And yeah, and this is a situation he's got a possible bank shot. Yeah, he's got to play the bank on the 2 into the side pocket.
Very likely to be on the 4 if he gets it, and looks pretty straightforward from there. So the second shot of the rack, but it already looks like potentially the decisive one.
So Kaci misses the bank, and Albin can see this. It's not an easy pot, but it's an opportunity. Over on table 2, David Alcade has just got Chris Mellin in a hook. That match is 1-1. It's available to watch on Matchroom.live.
Yeah, that's the new streaming service. All sorts of things on there, and new events being added all the time. Lots of live streaming and massive archive across all sorts of sports. So
this is a thin one. Don't know if he can avoid the 7 ball. Well, he could, but he's going to land behind the 8. Oh, that is unlucky. He's not going to be happy about that.
Well, that's a huge moment in the match, you know, because if he has the fortune there and lands on the 4, you fancy him to go 3-1 up, and then he's breaking in the next rack. As it is now, he's got a job keeping that cue ball out of the hand of Eklent Kaci.
Just trying to hit the ball here and hope it's your day. If you miss the ball, you give up ball in hand. Wasn't an easy hit, so... And there you could see he only just missed it coming back, so...
A word for the timekeepers, actually. We've talked a lot about the referees and the players and everyone else, but David and Claire were just drafted in at very short notice from the 3rd day onwards, and they've done every match all the way through since. No wonder he looks tired. But they're both massive enthusiasts for the game. And I can't remember there being any issues with how it's all worked.
Yeah, David, very good English 8-ball pool player. That's his game, and I've sat and had lunch a few times with him, and he's enjoyed his time here. And
oh, they love being here. And Eklent Kaci is enjoying it as well. He's levelled with Albin Ouschan at 2-2. Just that little bit of lack of good luck that Ouschan had there in terms of position was so important, because if he had had it, this would have a very different complexion now, this semi-final. Over on the other table, still 1-1 between Chris Melling and David Al-Kaidi. But Al-Kaidi's got himself in all sorts of bother now on the 6.
Attention call.
And we know Melling has spent most of the day feeding off mistakes and mishaps that have befallen other players. This could be a chance to do the same again and go 2-1 up.
yeah, of course, that's not Chris's fault. He can only do what, you know, he can do at the table. But it seems a lot of the players seem to be falling over against him at the crunch part of racks, and Davies kicked at that, and I think he's been fortunate, and the smile tells it all. The pain when your opponent kicks out and doesn't leave it over the pocket, Michael.
Spoken from years of bitter experience, Carl.
Still hurts to this day.
And that looks fine.
Yeah, I don't know if the 1 passes the pink 4. We'll get another look in a moment. Of course, 2 semi-finals. This is to get to the final. We're going to expect drama, and why wouldn't you? 9-ball pool. It's an interesting game. David Al-Kaidi fires a bank shot in there on the 6 ball, so he's back at the table with a chance.
Yeah, looking at it from there, looks a very different shot. Clearly the 1 doesn't go past the 4. So in the end, he's not so happy with it. Made 3 balls off the break, just as Kaci did in the previous rack.
Good speed there. Got him full ball hooked behind the brown 7.
Extension, please.
On the other table, Al-Kaidi has just played a very good shot on the 8, and he's got a simple 9 now, so he's going to lead Chris Melling 2-1 in the other semi-final. So he's kicking off the top rail.
He's just going to hit this ball, and he's going to need a little bit of luck. Oh, he's hit that perfect. And I think he's got the hook back. Yes, he has. So that's a big moment in the 5th rack.
Extension, please.
Yeah, the way they're both breaking, the way they're both playing generally, you just feel that winning one rack against the break might end up being all there is between them. And as this is a breaking rack for Ouschan, a lot of pressure on this shot.
So he's going 2 rails. If he does hit this one ball, he's got a small chance of potting it in the centre. But if he does, he could also scratch. Well, he's hit it. He's hit it really thin, and I think he's got to be happy with that. It was such a difficult kick shot, so the main thing is he didn't give up ball in hand.
Can that be cut? I think it can.
Yeah, it looks like it's a thin one. Me and Yasmin was saying this in the semi-finals. Often when you're sat in the com box, I mean, that kind of looks like it's over the pocket, but when you're out there, it's... Well, that's how thin it was. He's hit that so hard, and I don't think he's landed on the pot, so it could be jump cue time for Kaci. He's just looking if he can go off the rail. Let's not forget, we've got a shot clock now, so... Yeah, I think he's going rail first. And he's still trying to pot this 4 in the corner, using the rail first. Oh, lovely shot there. Real nice shot there from Kaci. And that tells you he's hooked. Going straight back to the chair for the jump cue. I was always going to go near the other pocket though with a cue ball, but that is very unfortunate.
And that was quality. But has he got a pot on the 7? Certainly got a cut into the corner. It's a tester though. Didn't fancy it.
Yeah, but I think he might have left a gap in between both balls. Not sure what he can do, but definitely looks like there's a gap. Well, Chris Mellon has just potted a ball, cannoned into 2 balls, and it looked like he was going to scratch in the side. It would have been very unlucky, and it just stayed up. He's got a tough pot on the 7.
Where's the cue ball going here? Is it in behind the 8? Is there a gap for Kaci?
Chris missed that 7 ball. So David's back at the table. He's faced with an Al-Qaeda. That's a long bank.
What do you reckon? Is there a gap?
Oh, I think he's jacked up.
Yeah. So he's gone for the jump. Couldn't repeat the trick this time, and he's scratched. And Ouschan is surely going to lead now 3-2 and win his breaking rack.
Yeah, that wasn't easy. A little bit unfortunate to scratch, of course, but you know, that was definitely not an easy jump shot. So that was an interesting rack.
Yeah, we're seeing both sides of the game in this match. Great breaking. A couple of run-outs from the break. All a lot more tense in this rack, though. And Albin Ouschan leads for the third time. 3-2.
I think it's fair to say Albin Ouschan has experienced every single emotion this event can throw at you. And there you see Chris Mellon. He's had quite an easy ride to get to this final day when you compare it to Albin.
Yeah. He had a week between matches, pretty much. Okay, he could do with this running on a bit.
Yeah, it looks like he's left it kind of over the left pocket, but again, that's a lot thinner than that tells you. So he's got to control the cue ball. This has been a bit of a rack-like table one, this one. Both players have had chances, and well, he's not going to be happy with this. As long as he can see it, it's a shot. And I think he can see the potting angle, so it's not too bad.
He's sweating blood out there, Chris Melling. Nothing coming easy to him at all, but he's giving his all on every single shot and just desperately trying to make it happen. He wants this title so much.
That was a great pot there from Chris, and needs the cue ball to kind of stop, and again it's landed on that kind of funny play. Such a great pot though, he just gets down and just keeps knocking the balls in.
And I think we're going to see this out before we go back to the other table. This is a big moment. Blind pocket, balls close together, big pressure. Oh, and that's going to be 3-1 LKD, and that could be the moment Chris Melling looks back on if he doesn't go on to win this title tonight. Back to the main table. Kaci, 3-2 down, chasing.
Yeah, over on table 2, that was an unfortunate turn of events, and we talk about events. This is a great chance for Albin Ouschan. It's a mistake by Kaci, and this could put Albin on the hill.
Well, this is the break. We didn't see it because we were on the other table.
Yeah, it was a poor miss by Kaci, to be honest. It was a good break. We just seen the break, and he had a shot on the 4 ball. You expect him to make that, and well, this is a massive, massive turning point now, Michael.
Well, I've said a few times already, this looked like the sort of match where one loss of the rack when you've broken could be the difference between them. It hasn't happened yet, but Kaci's error has given Ouschan a chance to make it happen here. And all of a sudden, a really tight tussle could come down to Ouschan having the break with a chance to win 5-2. But he's got to finish this one first.
So, Michael, this was the inaugural Predator Championship League. I think it's fair to say this will be a tournament that stays for the future every single year.
Well, so many events have sprung up in various sports over the last 12 months, Carl, because of the circumstances. Some of them probably won't last long. A lot of them will only ever end up being played this once, not this. How could it be after the week we've had? The drama we've had in this final day alone is reason enough for this tournament to go on. Plans are already being made for next year, with qualifying structures being put in place with regard to the world rankings.
Yeah, I've had a lot of messages via all the social media platforms, and people have really got into this event. People were sceptical, but they ain't anymore, Michael.
And Albin Ouschan is on the brink of being in the first ever Predator Championship League pool final. He leads 4-2. He'll be breaking on the hill when we come back.
Sporting events should not be held until there are no new cases.
Well, that's right up there with the... No crowd, but who needs them? Just in terms of pure potting ability, he's just one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh my word. Incredible.
What a power-packed partnership it is. Start the engraving process.
Eklent Kaci's Predator Championship League campaign started a week ago today against Albin Ouschan. Unless he can win the last 3 racks here, it's going to end against the same opponent.
Yeah, he's been breaking very good today and tonight. He's been breaking off his hand, actually. What I mean by that is most players break with their hand on the rail. He's kind of putting it on the slate next to the rail, and I don't think he can he pop this ball? If he can, well, is there a gap?
Well, we might be able to tell from your favourite angle. Looks a bit more promising from there. I think it's one of those, if he could, he'd probably have been down to play it by now.
Yeah, if he can't pot it, I think he can play a bank shot off the top rail with a bit... Well, he can pot it, so I'll zip it, Michael.
Chris Melling is on the brink of going out on the other table. He's just broken at 4-1 down against David O'Cady.
So Albin Ouschan has got a pot on the 1 ball. It's not an easy pot, but it's up the rail. So he's made it clean, but he's lost the cue ball and it's going up on the top rail, and well, he's got to pull out a beauty here. He's already done this once tonight. Played a phenomenal 2-ball pot in his semi-final, in his last group match, sorry, against Niels. Now he needs another. Well, he's played safe, no problem with that. Didn't fancy the pot, didn't see there's no value, and, well, looks a great safety shot as well.
He potted 3 balls from the break, you know. The number of times we've seen multiple balls going in off the break in this match has been exceptionally high.
Extension, please.
Yeah, if Kaci's full ball hooked here, he's in a world of trouble. So he's kicking at this off the top rail. I fancy him to hit this ball, but where does it go? And he's miscued. Well, he's actually miscued and still hit the ball. So that's not the end of the world, because, you know, Albin's at the table and it's gone over the pocket. At first glance, Albin would have thought, oh, he's miscued and hit the ball. And there you see the miscue. It's funny how that happens sometimes. You can miscue and the cue ball still goes in the same line. It's very bizarre, that. So anyway, Albin Ouschan, he's at the table. He's got 5 balls to get to the final.
Well, after all the good pool he's played today, and indeed last week, it would be quite an ignominious way for Kaci's campaign to end with a miscue, if that is to be his last shot.
This is a tricky one. He's going up the rail. Cue ball comes over perfect, and that looks good.
Oh, he's on the brink now. If Kaci goes out, he'll take another $2,000 for getting to the semi-finals of the winners group, leaving him with an overall total of $7,250. And it seems as though that's going to be his fate. Ooh, but how do you fancy this for the match?
Well, one thing Albin has done tonight, he has shown he can handle the utmost pressure. So it's this 9 ball to make it to the final.
Albin Ouschan has played 51 matches in this tournament. He's going to play just 1 more, because he's beaten Eklent Kaci